uh, the NBA 2K League.
Yes, yes, debut week.
Yes, for the second season. And it's
Mhm.
actually still going on. Day 3 of the tip-off is still happening, unless it just ended. Um, and I there's some things I like. There's some things I still don't like.
Mhm.
I'm just happy to see. I'm happy to. There's something about seeing the league that just makes me smile, just in its essence, just the fact that it exists.
Yeah.
So that is the predominant positive for me. So I kind of lean on that more so than I lean on or look at some of the things that may not be exactly what I think they should be. Um, but yeah, it's a couple things that I think are still down. I like this last game I just got through checking in on the Pistons game, Pistons GT against Warriors Gaming.
Mhm.
Pistons GT got a humongous advertisement on their court and advertisement on the scores table
Mhm.
for Howie's Hungry Howie's Pizza.
That's awesome.
So I love see because it's so dope because that was my concept early on when I
Yeah.
first started talking about how they could do this. And I'm like, man, you can start putting advertisements on the jerseys. You can put that all over the court because it's what Pro Am allows you to do. And so I think that was dope. Even though the logo was pretty big and kind of
Yeah.
obnoxious, it was still dope.
Yeah.
You know.
You know what advertisers like? Viewers. And you know what 2K League doesn't have?
Yeah.
They debuted with 12,000 just about, which ain't great,
Right.
and quickly hemorrhaged a clean 4 or 5,000 viewers. And today they fell below 7K, which is like almost is pretty much as bad as it gets for a mainstream game on Twitch.
Yeah, yeah. There's a lot that has to happen, man. And it didn't help that I don't think Chiquita played at all today. So
I think that's honestly, there's not a single player in the 2K league that would move the needle.
well,
They
I
need
think I think
Shakedown and Chris Move to move the needle.
yeah, I think Chiquita would move the needle for a second for just like that day, and maybe not even the entire day. But
Yeah.
if they put out that the first woman NBA 2K League player is making her debut, I think that would spike them up some. But I don't
Mhm.
think a lot of those people would even stay for the whole game.
See, and that's the key because when I
Right.
say move the needle, I think there are people who watch Shakedown, Chris Move, Agent, Cash Nasty that would stay if the 2K League was a quality product, if their guys were in there, right?
Yep.
Um, but I don't think the first woman playing a game crowd is the kind of crowd that's going to sit there and be like, you know, talking about how Dimes played last game, talking
Yeah.
about, you
No.
know what I mean? Oh,
No.
Fab versus Dimes, who's the better player? They're not going to really have that conversation.
No.
They're not going to be around for that. So yeah, they need to. They have to do something about the viewership. I think it's partially on 2K because the game is not a super strong competitive game right now.
Hmm.
Roughly every game looks the same.
Yep.
There's the pressure is insanely like strong because there's no speed in the game. I'm
Hmm.
watching point guards being guarded full court by centers,
Hmm.
and these are the greatest point guards in the world, and they're being guarded by centers full court. So it's clearly not a skill issue. You know, if these guys were in the park, they'd be tearing you up. Um, one on one with their skills on the sticks. So it's in the game that's preventing them from cutting loose. It's in the archetypes.
Yep.
Um, so yeah, they need a lot of work. They definitely need to go back to the drawing board. And funny enough, watching your streams,
Hmm.
which I
You love
very much enjoy.
because it's high quality play. It's high quality. I mean, it's top of notch. I mean, it's 2K League worthy kind of
Definitely
stuff there.
not where I was going with that, especially after the last game I saw.
Why are you so horrible towards me?
What? No, I'm just going by the evidence. I give props
I
when it's
don't know.
deserved.
I don't know
Because
why you.
I
I
think
don't,
I think I think you took 14 bad shots in a row when you
are
lost
you
that.
Are you
last game.
serious? I don't even remember, so I can't
How
even.
many you? Oh, you remember? I know it still
Uh,
stings in your heart because you're competitive.
no, I don't know
You
which
remember
ones.
that L is still burning right under that PlayStation logo on your chest. There's
I
a L.
have
That's
no
why it's shaped
idea.
like a L to cover up the L that you are holding up.
I don't even understand what you're saying. I don't recall these things that you're saying.
Well, the good thing is on the internet. I encourage everybody to go to Mazique's channel, watch the video he just put up. Horrible game. Y'all go watch it immediately after this show. I assure you it is quality content, but I cannot defend the level of basketball played by at least one of the people playing that game.
Well, I can't remember what happened in that game. I can't recall what happened in that game. I'm trying to remember what happened.
You took a lot of contested shots, and he got a lot of open threes with Melo. That part happened.
Okay. Oh, and didn't I have the game at some point? I can't remember.
I don't know. I think he let wire to wire.
No. Okay. See, there it
he
is
went
again.
He went on a 13-0 run in the fourth quarter.
Yes, he did. Okay,
which generally is not good.
But boy, I'm trying to tell you, this is. I'm just trying to make sure that you. I mean, you like Conor McGregor, man. You just out of control with this stuff you say.
I'm like Khabib. I report the facts, man.
You say all kinds of stuff,
Like Chael Sonnen. I tell the truth about the industry.
My God, no, honestly, I do. I take too many bad shots, man. I really do. I take too many bad shots. You know what? My problem is I don't take enough my team shots because there's some shots that are open that I don't. They're really not open shots, really in real life, but they're open for my team. And then, I don't utilize the limitless range badge because
I was gonna say because that fadeaway 3-pointer with Clyde Drexler, you might want to leave that alone.
What happened to it? Was I down on the shot clock? Was it late in the shot clock?
I mean, you took it.
It was late in the shot clock.
Why was it late?
Because the seconds was running down. What do you mean? Why was it late?
Because for the other 20 seconds, the offense wasn't running clean.
Well, okay. Now here's my issue. Here's my issue. The problem is I actually got the wrong playbook.
Oh, okay.
I got the wrong playbook, and so the playbook the playbook that I picked when I picked that, I hardly had any actual talent.
Yeah.
So
you mentioned that in the stream that you were playing like you still had some lower level players.
Crap guys.
Yeah,
but that's not the whole thing. I make a lot of mistakes. I do some stuff. That's really the biggest thing. I throw some passes I shouldn't throw. I press up, trying to get that steal on the inbounds pass, and it ultimately breaks my whole defense down. And 2-3 passes, and you got a wide open shot on the wing. And that's a my team thing. Like you can kind of get away with that a little bit more and play now online, but in my team you cannot.
Yeah,
so. Yeah, and then I get caught with high screen and roll a lot. And the high screen and roll on my team begins like at half court, which is imbalanced, but it does because high screen and roll on it that's half court screen and roll. No, that just doesn't happen. So
it does have some teams do that. In fact,
at half.
Yeah, because the Nets, when they try to pressure D'Angelo Russell, they start their screens very high. Sometimes Steph will start a screen high. James Harden starts a screen high. And if you think about it, because of the talent level in my team, they would start the screen high because of all of the limitless range badges.
All the limitless range, right? Which what I'm saying, that's my problem.
But that's like if you were playing with a bunch of James Hardens and Steph Currys, it would also look, and even D'Angelo Russell, he has very long range, it would look more imbalanced if you were playing with if everybody had that shooting talent, and that's what my team is.
That's what it is. I think that's my problem. I don't necessarily adjust to the crazy amount of talent that's out there.
Yeah. But the real reason I brought up my team streams
because they're fantastic. I know, but okay.
That's true. That's part of it. I'm watching the 2K League, and as a fan of the game, I'm like, this is like one of my least favorite versions to watch. And I watched your stream immediately after watching the 2K game, and I'm like, this is flat out more entertaining.
Well, I
flat
appreciate
out
that.
More entertaining.
Now, if I can get 7,000 people to watch my stream at one time, I will. I'll go topless.
Don't do that. But that's not the message we were trying to deliver. I don't think you picking up what we putting down. What I'm saying is 2K, and this is a serious comment. 2K has a very big game, and somebody decided that a lower level, lower attribute level pro-am was what the league was going to be.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying to stop doing that. The NBA's in on that. It's basically a vanity project at this point in terms of what it's producing. They're
Mm-hmm.
going to invest into it like the WNBA. They're going to invest into it because they think over the long haul it's worth it. That's great. But 2K needs to invest in its other game modes on an esport level. I would
Mm-hmm.
much rather be watching head to head my team,
Me
and
too.
which they do have a tournament, which is great. Head
Yep.
to head triple threat online
Yep.
and head to head park than what I'm watching right now.
Yeah.
And,
I would.
and for the record, competitive pro-am is more entertaining than what I'm seeing in the product right now.
It
Slay
is.
Island streams are more entertaining than this.
Yes, it is. And I think play now, competitive play now online is better than this.
I haven't seen a whole lot of competitive play now online, but I would like to see more. I don't know if you know of any streamers that do that. Let the people know, tweet it out, and I would definitely like to check that out.
Short dog that he does that. Um, I'm trying. There's a couple other ones, but I'm pretty sure Short Dog does that. Did I lose you?
No, I'm right here.
Oh, okay. You went quiet. Like,
No, I was reading the chat. I was appreciating the chat. The chat's over my shoulder right now.
oh, what did
We
they say?
have we got you shouldn't be using her as a gimmick. Talking about Chiquita,
Yes.
I agree
Mhm.
with that. And there isn't any individuality in the 2K league. I
No, there
totally
isn't.
agree.
And
And the thing is,
I've been saying that. I've been saying the
yeah,
same thing.
and it's not the players. We know they have the talent. They're doing the
No.
best that they can with a
Yep.
very nerfed build. It's like they got a bunch of 78 rated overall players out there, and it
Yep.
sucks.
Yep.
Sucks to death.
Yep. It does. I actually think it's worse this year than it was last year from a gameplay standpoint.
It is, and I'm surprised by that. But you know what it is? They buffed the defense without buffing the offense, and I have for the past 3 years telling them that they need to buff both at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. At some point, I think the NBA is probably going to have to step in and if they haven't already, and come to 2K and say, okay, what is it that you guys need to make this more exciting?
2K has to come up with those answers because they know the game.
Well,
That's the problem.
well, I'm what I'm saying is NBA comes to 2K and says,
Yeah.
what is it that you guys need?
Well, I guess what I'm saying is if you're at 2K right now,
Mm-hmm.
and full disclosure, I've spoken to a bunch of guys who work at the company, Zara amongst others. If you guys can't see that product and tell that it's not exciting, there needs to be some serious soul searching because you guys know the game. Y'all see all the game modes. You guys see everything we talked about. You guys see Park. You guys see Play Now Online. Even the game currently as constructed with no improvements, you know that the other game modes are more exciting and show more individuality. And I realize you don't want a cheese fest. You don't want exploits. You don't want guys doing, stupid dribble moves for possession after possession. I get that, but it is too far the other way right now. And
Yes.
it is more fun to watch your, average high level YouTuber play in the park than it is to watch this.
Yeah.
And I was a guy who up until 2K18 wouldn't even touch the park.
Yeah. Yeah. It is, man. I found myself in every game I watched so far this year being somewhat bored.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's
And this is at a time when other esports events are putting on quite a show. So Overwatch League is great.
I have one particular thing and that I think is an issue. I put this on the commentary.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that Dirk is a little too technical for the audience and for it, like, because and part of this is 2K, so I don't blame him completely, but part of this is 2K. You see, and because there is no individuality in the game, everybody does whatever. So you'll just see this awesome dunk that just took place, or somebody will throw a sick pass or whatever. But because everybody's build can kind of do the same types of things, he's like mid explanation, and something awesome just happened, that was like, oh, and he's go, well, because the because if you have a pure sharp, you'll be able to do this, you'll be able to do that. There's no reaction,
Yeah.
fan like reaction to something awesome that just happened on the screen. He's in mid technical explanation, and a guy just did a 360 in between two guys.
Yeah, I agree with your criticism. But I'm going to give the commentary a break, and it's for two reasons. One, this is a pretty new thing, commentating NBA 2K games,
Right.
and I would say I would actually give the commentary a A for at what stage it is in the life of this esport. They're doing and this is not really similar to anything except real sports.
Right.
So, in terms of calling the game, right? So credit to them for being as good as they are. I agree with your criticism. And the other thing is, it's not an exciting product, as we all agreed here.
Right.
So there's not a lot of stuff to call. And I'm a fan of basically all fighting games, and I've seen them all commentated, great commentary and bad commentary. And I can tell you what, no matter how great the commentators are, they're worse when the game's not good.
Yeah,
The best commentators on the planet, people who can literally fill up a stream off their commentary talent, when the game's not good, they're not as good. And so they need a better product so that they can more quickly adapt to how to do proper commentary. Because one of the things the 2K League doesn't have that NBA games have is replays, right? Like their
which they
replay,
should.
right? They should have really impressive, pretty replays that highlight the best parts of the game. Clearly, that's what the real sports have. I mean, if Street Fighter has replays, it doesn't even have a record function in the game for an immediate record function like that, right? There's no replay function, so they need an editor in the back capturing these plays on a 2K rig to give you a replay with a more exciting camera as soon as there's any downtime, which happens reasonably often.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying, but I don't know that I can give that a total pass, because when I'm watching this, and I understand, I get it that the game has some holes, right? And I don't put this as much on Scott as I would put it on Dirk. And I know Scott is the play-by-play guy, and he's the one who's supposed to show that emotion. I think he does do it a little bit more, and I think it actually benefits him in this way, that he's not as familiar with the game as Dirk. He doesn't know the ins and outs of an archetype the way that Dirk does. I think it benefits him, and it thus makes him a little bit more exciting to listen to, because he's reacting to what just happened and not breaking down what just happened. And I think that they're like I said, from day one of the tip off, right? They put up the 5 best plays, right? And they included the audio call from those plays. In 4 of the 5 plays, there was literally no reaction to the actual play.
Well, and here's the thing, though, B. I'm not disagreeing with you that he needs to improve on that, but I'm grading them on, first of all, it's a young esport, extremely young,
Right.
and I'm looking at the spectrum of commentary across all esports, and they're actually, honestly, probably the best thing about the league in terms of growth.
Yeah.
Like, that's the most promising start, is that the commentary is not atrocious, because it could be much, 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 much worse. And he does need to improve on that. But overall, the commentary is off to a good start. Everything else needs a lot of work, including player personalities. We have no sense of any personalities from any of these players so far. And that's one of the biggest parts of most esports. It's harder in team esports, but it still needs to be a part.
Yeah. Yep. I definitely think we, for the most part, we definitely agree on that.